I mean, it is a legit mess and disaster in here. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Misty and I'm a reseller on eBay, and I also own a brick and mortar antique store called Wildflower Antiques. We are in kind of a transition period right now. We're only going to be open 4 times a year, and I'm also moving my reselling business here to the shop. So things are a little, well, things are crazy everywhere, right? So what I'm doing here today is I've moved this piece of furniture. We do have all of the doors that go to this piece of furniture here, but in order for me to be able to use it to display other items that I'm going to have for sale in the store, I've taken the doors off and laid them to the side. I can still show them to the customer if they are interested in it, but for right now, this piece is going to be simply used as a piece to sell some smaller things. So I'm going to show you how I stage a piece of furniture like this, that you could maybe get these ideas and use them in your own home or in your own antique booths or in your antique stores, or however you want to display certain things, or you just kind of like to watch people decorate things. So this is kind of a primitive-esque piece, but I usually don't stick with one general genre usually. I like to mix and match different eras and different time periods. So I'm going to be using different items with different heights on this piece of furniture right here. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, you can see that I've already put a crock there up at the top of the counter or the cabinet, and I'm going to be looking for things that will accent that piece right there. Now, let me show you what this is. It's a gold, as the rolling pins all fall on the floor. It's a Gold Metal Products company. It's like a watering can. So this was made, probably used in the factory to either add water to the product or maybe even to give water to their employees. I'm not quite sure. I have $85 on it. It's a pretty rare piece. It has the little spigot down here at the bottom. And I have a couple little things in here. Some metal spoons and a mallet and a fork, a stove fork. This is the USSC company. It's a stove fork. So like you would use this fork to move the burners on your old stove. So I'll stick these kind of back in here. All right, and another thing that I have is this little crock here. We're close enough to Louisville that we do find a lot of Louisville pottery, and you can tell here, this is the mark on it of the Native American. This one has just a little hairline crack in there on the inside. I had $34.50 on this mug, or this isn't, boy, that would be a big mug, wouldn't it? Crock. And I like to either put some floral pieces in here or maybe even some more rolling pins. And I typically will buy rolling pins a lot because you can use them in these crocks. It does help display and it just looks nice. So I'm not going to put this one up high. I'm going to anchor it a little bit down here. And I like to use things in thirds. So I put 3 rolling pins in there. Like that. I am still going to use some areas on that shelf over there, and you can't even see. Let's move the camera, shall we, so you can see a little bit more. All right, so let me look around here and see what other things I might use. I have a gray enamelware pot with a lid. So let's see, check this on this top here with the bail handle towards the front so the customer can see it. You might even be able to, I'm not sure if that's going to stay, but sometimes display it to where the lid can be somewhere nearby, but we're just going to leave it like that for now. Have a kettle, just an aluminum kettle. I like to try to prop the handle up if it'll stay. So I just try to find my big anchor pieces first, and these things will get moved around a little bit, I'm sure, but it just gives me a start to be able to play around with different levels and different heights. And then we'll add the small things. This is a really cute little baby scale. It's a peach colored scale and it has the little nursery animals on it. These are still very cool. They're not as cool as like the old farmhouse scales, but this still will be really, really cute in a baby's nursery. I'm going to, let's see, let's try it up here. No, let's try it down here. But I may not want that there because I may want to be able to display something on top. Let's lay that down there for now. Now I have this amber glass canister set. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this over here or not because I'm really wanting to add some things with more color. So I'm going to set this over here for now. Just play around with it until I have it where I like it. And again, I like to use things in odd numbers. It just is more aesthetic to the eye, and there's just something about the rule of thirds, and it's just something that I've always done. So you can play around with it in different ways. I kind of like that. And with these, I like to sometimes put a candle, a battery operated candle. So when we're open, that light will just kind of flicker in there. But we need to look around for some things with color. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and I'm going to have you walk around with me. We're going to look for some things that we can add a little bit of color to this because it's looking a little bland. We need some color. So let's go find some color. All right. I know that one thing that I'm probably going to add, it's a wreck in here right now, but we'll talk about that another day. These are some jadeite pieces that they're not original. They are reproductions Dad had found, but I'm probably going to add them somewhere over here. So I'm just going to set them here for now until we're ready to place them. I'll grab the shaker too. I'm not going to put a pumpkin out, even though that is very colorful. So let's find some other things, colorful things that we can add to bring a little bit more color to this display here. Let's see. We've got a Jim Beam decanter there, but that's going to clash pretty well with the jadeite. So let's see, what else can we find that has some color? Well, one thing I want you to see is this beautiful Aladdin lamp right here with the pink glass. That's pretty. All right, but we're not going to put that over there. This has some color to it, but not what I'm looking for. I might grab this bottle. So let's see, we'll grab that bottle and let's look for some more colorful pieces. I'm going to grab this guy because I think I'm going to put some flowers in him. He is a big, an old beaker. Let's set these over here. And we'll continue to look for more items that we can add to that little grouping. How about some books? We'll try some books. Now, I like to use books in a lot of different ways. You can lay them like this and then add things to them. You can also, stack them the traditional way. And one thing that a lot of people are doing now is they will stack them in a graduating order with the pages showing. I like things where I can see the titles of the books. I just like the words and the fonts. So I might do something similar to that, but we'll grab those books there. And what else do we got? I mean, we've got a lot of stuff, but we're just trying to be picky. Okay, I'm going to grab these flowers out of this jar. I'm going to add them to that beaker. Although when we open the store, again, it will be summer and not spring. So I'll probably will switch that out, but I do like the yellow. I'll zhuzh it up a little bit. All right, I did walk around and grab a few more things to add to the display. So now I'm just well, I'll show you what I grabbed, and then I'll just start displaying things, and we'll see what we end up with. So I did grab this is a Miracle Maze cornbread pan made out of clear glass. I grabbed an egg beater. I grabbed this very lifelike feathered chicken. I'm gonna give him a little side-eye action up there. I grabbed this is a really cool piece. It's an Akron whip for an egg beater. It has an aluminum handle on it. I grabbed just various little bottles, some jars, some photographs, an old sifter. These are great to find, and really sometimes the grubbier the better, but you can display these in a lot of different ways. You can put a succulent in here and make, you know, a little floral arrangement on the inside. You can find these a lot of times. I find these at auctions a lot, and just in a box, a lot of stuff. So I have the sifter. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start playing around a little bit with this display. So let's go ahead and do that now. So now I'm going to show you what I did, and I'll explain to you what I did and why I did what I did. Here is the finished display. Now, I haven't done anything down there yet, but I'm probably just going to put some pieces of cast iron that I have. I might put a couple oil cans just to finish out that bottom look. Because it's going to be harder. You don't want to put a bunch of stuff down there because it's a harder area for people to see. So you really just wanted to put a couple of big items down there, and I'll do that in just a second. But here is the finished look. I'll go ahead and start up here at the very top. I used this is an old fruit box that I had, and I went ahead and I took the lid off of the enamel pot and just put it next to the pan. I think it finishes it out. And again, it's kind of in thirds. And then this is an old mallet and these really cute wooden salt and pepper shakers that are in this really pretty fun color. And then I added the rooster there and the crock with items in it and this oil lamp. And I didn't like it, it needed something. And so I pulled a couple of smaller milk bottles just to kind of fill in for the area of thirds. So that is the top shelf. And then as we go down, you can see here, I just stacked the jadeite and just used, there's the kind of still the rule of thirds. There's things on each shelf. You don't want to overly pack things. I know that a lot of people just try to get whatever they can out on the floor, but it isn't as appealing to the eye when things are just kind of shoved in there. So you want to make it, you want your displays to look like a customer can come in and they can get ideas of how they would like to use things in their own home. At least that's my whole viewpoint on the thing. And then I have this little crockery bowl with some biscuit cutters and some old vintage measuring spoons, all of which I got these and these from the bins. I don't think these are really old, but they still have a neat farmhouse look to them. And then on this next shelf, I have this old ice cream container, an old ice cream box. And I added 2 little soda fountain glasses next to it as well. And then on the middle shelf here, I used the books. And then I used the cornbread pan back there. I had this little measuring cup here, and I didn't like the way that it looked. It wasn't showing up very well, so I grabbed a little scoop that I had and added it to that. It just creates a little bit of interest to your eye to go and look and like, oh, there's a little thing back there too. And then I added the a train, which I like to use trains and displays, and stacked them on the books with a little Nature's Remedy tin. It's a laxative because everybody needs one of those on their displays. And then this is just an oysterizer lid or a jar. So there is that middle shelf. And then down here, I just added the aluminum pot with an old box of Mendits where you could repair your cookery. Instead of going and buying a new one, you could just mend it and then reuse it again over and over and over again. We don't live in those times anymore. Unfortunately, people just kind of throw something away and then they go buy new. But a lot of people use these. Leave me a comment if you remember these at all. And then I added, these are really neat bottles of wintergreen and glycerin and insect repellent lotion. But again, I just used them in the 3 stages that I like. And then this next shelf up here, I added the strainer and then 3 bottles. I've got the RC Cola bottle, a vintage Bubble 7-Up bottle, and then this is a 5-0 bottle, which is, I love these obscure cola bottles. Have y'all ever heard of 5-0 Coke Cola? I've not. I just think that they're really cool. So I added those. And then this shelf down here, I added, this is a glass insulator, and then the vintage ball jar with the zinc lid, and a can of Simonize floor wax. Again, I'm a sucker for graphics. I just think the graphics on this are great. And this is full. This is full of Simonize. And I had $22.75 on it. So then that's, kind of the middle shelves. And then down below, I added it's not ironstone. I called it ironstone. It's not. It's a look like, we lost a daffodil. So I added that and made it look like a little wash basin and added the daffodils in there. And then I added an old waffle maker. This is a super electric waffle maker, but look at the space age knobs on it, and it's Bakelite in between. The hinge is broken there, but you could probably use this, but most people are just going to use it just for looks because it's so cool. Very space age. But I added a syrup dispenser. These are some ruffle white milk glass plates. And then the Good Morning juicer. Now, it's a funny story. I found this juicer at a sale, and then I found the mugs at another sale. And the mugs or the cups, the juice glasses they're in rough shape, but I had to buy them because they matched my little juicer. Fun colors on that. And then I added a little picture in an oak frame, and I use these metal plate stands a lot. I use them on those plates too. If you can display your plates sitting upright, then they do display a lot better for people to see what they are, and they're not having to grab them and manhandle them enough. They can at least see if they want to explore it any further. And then I have the set of the 3 amber canisters. And then I have the crock, the Louisville Pottery crock that I added just a few more little doohickeys in it. And then I have these old, I call them pounders. They're mallets. But you can be like me and call them a pounder. This is made out of burl wood. This is what they would use to make barns, and they'd use it as a hammer. But I just love the wear and how it's just worn and torn. Just looks like a piece of log on a stick, and you'd use it to pound things, which is why I call it a pounder. And I like that it has the green paint on it. Ugh, I just love these. Here's a small pounder. Here's a small hammer. I had $22.50 on this one. This one's a carpenter's mallet. But it's a portable one. So this is one to go. You got your standard and you got your one to go. And sometimes the smaller ones are just as interesting as the big ones to me. Then I added this cute little baby rolling pin there to finish out that look. But I'm pretty happy with this display here. It didn't take me very long. And now I'm going to find a few things to fill in the bottom down there. Not my best work, but it's good enough for now. But I took a Coca-Cola crate and just added some granite ware. I stuck some cast iron up there, that big old heavy spittoon, and then the V for Victory lard can with the percolator and some books stacked up with a coffee cup next to it, a little restaurant ware coffee cup made by Shenango. And I think this display is ready. Now that's not ready, and that's not ready, but that's ready. So I hope this gave you a little bit of an idea of just some things that you can do to build up a display, just kind of the things that I typically do when I am creating a display. And I hope that this helped you in some way, shape, or form, or you just were purely entertained by it. And if you did, I hope that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. I will be doing some more content like this. Let me know in the comments if this is something that interests you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.